be a legitimate person who's covering an event, and I'm saying that to the NCAA just because I can. But as much as I'll fight for them, bloggers are not inherently going to deliver that product for us, that unbiased, unfiltered, balanced view of the world. And I know that our journalism over the last 10 or 15 years has shifted so that media outlets do have a bias and an obvious slant. I think we're going to get a rebound effect from that, and the public is, we're getting a rebound effect from that now. The public's going to the internet for the news, to sites like, Dig and Stumble Upon and recommendations from friends as opposed to traditional media outlets. That's the pendulum swinging the other way. I think it's going to come back to center at some point, and our traditional media outlets are going to be more web-centric, and journalism is not going to die. We need it. We need journalism in our society. It's one of the true, honest professions out there, and I don't think it'll go away because we as a society need it. Marketing will continue to be more consumer-centric. I don't think there would be a whole lot of people who would disagree, or at least in the social media space, who would disagree with me in saying over the last 30 years, marketing in general, especially from the big company corporate level, has become a business of assumptions. We make assumptions about our consumers, but we don't actually ask their opinions. We make assumptions about their needs and their wants and their intents, but we don't actually measure or find out if those are actually their needs and their wants and their intents. Social media changes the game. Social media makes it about the consumer, because if you're not listening directly to the consumer, you're not delivering what they want. And so marketing will continue to swing that way, and that's good for people in the social media space because we're the ones who know how to communicate directly to the consumer. Our education system, this is where I get a little on the negative side, so pay attention because this is where you can argue with me. And I want you to come to my blog tomorrow and argue with me. I like that more than anything. What's that?
My wife will be there tomorrow. She's the teacher.
All right, here we go. Okay, yeah, your wife's going to love the hell out of this. All right, here we go. Our education system is going to get worse before it gets better. And I say that because 15 and 16-year-olds today are 10 times more technically adept than the people who are trying to teach them this shit. And so until this generation of young people becomes the innovators and the thinkers in education, we're screwed in a lot of ways. Now, I think there are perfectly smart people, hopefully like everybody, who are out there trying to fight that battle and fight that curve and change that mechanism and that way of thinking. You got to remember, too, most educational institutions get their funding from government, and government is so damn far behind the times in the social web and social media and thinking about consumers, their consumers that way. Education is just a trickle-down effect. That's going to change, but it's only going to change when today's young people become those teachers and realize that the system truly is broken badly. So I think our education system is going to get worse before it gets better. And then the last thing I'd like to throw out there, and then I'd love to open it up for questions or whatever on the future of social media. I do think, and I'm really passionate about this because this is what I talk to the brands that I counsel on social media. There's going to be a social media backlash. Now, I'm not going to say there's going to be a social media bust because I don't think that's the case. It's not going to be a bust because connecting directly to the consumers will ride through any sort of financial turmoil, because connecting directly to the consumers is what business is truly all about when you get down to the core of it. So that's not going to change. It's not going to be a bust, and people who are spending money on social media aren't all of a sudden going to be throwing money down a big dark hole. It's not going to be like the .com bust. But there's going to be a day when we, and I'm talking about the early adopters in the room here, we and the people that are following us look up from our computer screens and say, holy shit, it's been 6 weeks since I've spoken to a human being in person. I think that's going to happen. And it might sound funny, but I honestly think that's going to happen. And when it does, we're going to walk down to our corner store and talk to the clerk for an hour just because. And that's going to be a good day for us, because that's when we're going to find balance in all this online and offline. Here's the key message that I have when I'm talking to clients about this. The brands and the companies and the businesses that survive the social media backlash will be the ones who build vibrant online communities and find relevant ways to take those communities offline. If you build an interpersonal connectivity around your brand and around your business, in person, with people, real people without technology and without computers, you'll survive any backlash that happens because of social media. So that's my spiel on the future of social media. All that's going to be on socialmediaexplorer.com tomorrow. I'm fairly certain that there's a couple people in the room who might get that on the front page of Dig. Excuse me. I'm not asking or anything. I don't do that. One other thing, I did check. I posted on the Facebook event page on the wall earlier this week. I posted, hey, if you want to ask me any questions that you want me to answer, post something. And somebody did. Is Fausto here? Fausto, is he here? All right, I don't know if he's here or not. I don't want to embarrass him. But Fausto wrote, what are the 10 common mistakes bloggers make when getting people interested in their blog? So I thought of like 3, and I just kind of blew holes in the 3 to make them 10. So here we go. All right, the 10 things that mistakes bloggers make when getting people interested in their blog. And if you're starting a blog or if you're a blogger, these are actually useful tips. You use self-promotion over sharing. You have to share first. Self-promotion comes when you build that credibility. When you focus on promoting your blog over the content on it, you've got to think content first because content delivers what people are there for. Shotgunning your outreach to too many communities. You can't be everything to all people. You've got to pick the niches that make sense for your target. Not being targeted with outreach or networking with other bloggers. I'm in the social media space. One of the first people that I reached out to was Chris Brogan because he's a big blogger in the social media space. I didn't reach out to someone, Michael Seltzer, who's writing about copywriting because I'm not a copywriter. So even though he was an influential blogger, I didn't target him. I targeted the ones that made sense.
Pretty flowers.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you got to go to chrisbrogan.com and see my bromance video today. Thank you. Not commenting on other blogs. If you don't do that, you're being disingenuous to the process. Go comment on other people's blogs. It will bring those people to your blog. Not valuing the face-to-face. Go to conferences. Come to social media club meetings. Go to tweet-ups. Network with people in person. Again, that offline community is important to the future of what you're doing as a blogger as well. If you think you're smarter than everyone else, that's mistake number 7. And there's a few people that are bigwigs in the social media space that think they're smarter than everybody else. And I would share their names with you, but this is being recorded for the internet. I have to edit myself a little bit. If you're looking to get and not give, big mistake. You need to give. You need to guest post on other people's blogs. You need to help people vote their stuff up on Dig and Reddit, stumble upon and tip and so on and so forth. You need to give as well as get. And if your blog is essentially a place for you to be an advertising whore, that's just going to turn people off. You know, I mean, if it's chock full of ads and flashes and crap, nobody likes that in the blogging community. Nobody likes that in any community. So don't turn it into all about the advertising. And the 10th one is one that I really couldn't think of a 10th one, so I just put if you don't floss enough. So that was the last one. Before I step aside and either open it up to questions or we can just network, because people are already doing that, having fun, and I don't want to take up too much time. I would like everyone to join me in a toast. So to Barbara and Amber and the other